moment to say, life.
That's a beautiful feeling, man.
Yeah, it is, It is,
It is a beautiful
and
feeling.
I remember at the time as well, FNB, because I hadn't finished paying off the car, they were looking for me.
Oh my God.
They were looking for me, and I was hiding the car at some place, hiding it there, and it was bad, it was bad. But for me, the reason why I was running away from West Bank, I was not really running away. I was talking to them. They were calling me, hey, when are you paying? We need to come and take the car. But for me, it was that I'd already paid 3/4 of the car, the total balance. So I couldn't just give it away.
Oh, there's no going back now.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew I would eventually get money to pay the quarter, so I didn't want to give it away, and that's what I was doing. It was hell.
How eye-opening was it when you went and applied for finance?
When after the whole thing, or
because I worked for VW and Audi South Africa.
Yeah.
And you know how many young people used to come into my office and they didn't know what it entailed applying for finance for their cars. Didn't know that you needed a healthy amount of debt.
Yeah.
Didn't understand where the whole bank, because look, banks, I don't know, back then it was different, but now banks do an affordability check.
Yeah.
And they would literally go, and I think your car had to fall into a quarter or less than a quarter of your overall earnings. Now, back then they wouldn't do that.
Well, they did that when I started.
Oh, really? So they did. So you understand what that process is as a young man.
It had to be a quarter of your salary,
I think a lot of people are just shocked when they come down to it. They realize, like, listen, this is what it really is about.
Yeah. But I remember getting my first car, and it was the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
Because the freedom that comes with
100%.
having your own car, you can go anywhere you want to.
You can drop your hand in the seat, you can take her for dinner.
Exactly, So it was a good feeling, and it was, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I bought my first car. I was building Graceland.
Oh, okay.
I was building because I studied. I got my Chem 10 and my Chem 20, so I was doing all the concrete for Graceland. And I actually paid my dad. I was getting paid 2,500 Rand a month.
Oh, wow.
And I paid my dad 2,000 Rand every month, so I had to live on 500 Rand a month.
Wow. Now your dad is the man, eh?
Oh, man, but I paid the car off, and you know what, a funny story? I drove down the road at Doran. My dad had a house in Doran, and I drove down the road and I got stuck. I had petrol. I walked back and my dad made me push my car, push it back into the driveway, and I left it there until the next week, until I had money for petrol.
Whoa.
Then I could drive my car again.
Yeah, man, that's
and my dad said to me straight up, listen, my boy, you've got a car now. Now you have to put petrol in.
Exactly.
You're going to have to work hard to get petrol. And then you're going to have to service your car as well.
Yeah.
You got to start working this into your budgeting. And that was, I think, one of the first times in my life when I realized, like, oh shit, we've got a budget for things now. We can't go out with the boys anymore and spend 400 Rand on beer. We need petrol money out here. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And it's all stories, and I think the whole point of this podcast is just letting people know that the big businessmen that you see driving around in big cars, and they start out like you and I.
Nothing, man. With nothing.
We all start out at the same point. It's just, are you willing to make the sacrifices? Are you willing to dedicate your time? Are you willing to say to your friends, like, listen, guys, it's 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. I've got to go home. I've got to work in the morning.
Exactly.
And that's the sacrifices that you need to make as a young entrepreneur to get your shit together.
No, true. You need to listen to the voice inside of you. People don't listen to that voice. That voice tells you now you've drank enough, now go home.
100%.
You need to go home.
Yeah.
You've got to work tomorrow. Yes, this is a good deal. This is not a bad deal. So I always listen to that voice, that gut feeling, Yeah. So
and it spreads into different parts of your life as well.
Exactly.
And you know what? It comes from God.
Yeah, it comes from God.
That's just the way, we were all raised, and I don't know. I've gotten into this religious debate so many times, and God's not really about money, is he?
Yeah. No, you know what?
He's not really about this or that, but if I tell you what he is about, he's about, I don't know, the strive for betterness, the strive to better yourself in whichever aspect that is. And I just feel so bad that there's so many young people out there that just aren't doing what they should be doing. They aren't doing their full capability. They're chilling at home waiting, like you said. Can't be waiting.
You can't be waiting.
You got to be working. You got to be putting yourself out there.
Look, for me, I was never really a religious person before. You know, when I was working and everything, I always believed in God. I just knew Him from a distance. But when I had my business and things went bad, like really bad, I really got close to God, you know. And there's one of the employees that I work with here. He is very spiritual, you know, and he taught me, or he advised me and showed me to say, look, man, you need to listen to God. You need to talk to God. And ever since that, man, I'm so close with Him now. You know, I see Him working in my life and in the business so much that, you know, I actually owe everything to Him. And everything comes together because of Him. And you really need to listen to Him, because he's the big man, eh?
And I think in many ways the way that we praise God now in the 21st century is very much different.
Yeah, it is different.
You know, I mean, a lot of people, the first thing we do when we talk, look, I'm not really religious, or like, look, I'm not, but it's not about whether you praise Allah, it's not about whether you praise Shureshni or whoever it is. It's about who is that higher power in which you strive for, you give up for that.
Exactly.
And that's, I think it's more about being spiritual than being religious. I would say as well. I'm not really a big religious guy. I'm not really like I feel it's a bit outdated for what we're doing right now. But the big man himself, I believe 100%. I believe that there's a power out there that leads us all.
No, definitely. Because why I say this, you know, not everyone is not everyone can be rich, for instance, or not everyone can be Casper in your vest, or
100%.
AKA type of thing. But we can get to our higher power if we listen to the man that made us, you know. So for me, I feel I'm in the right place at the right time, because this is where God wants me, because this is where my talents lies, you know, in terms of business. And through that, God will make things happen for me, because I'm in the right place. And I'll become whatever I want to become through Him, you know, and we need to listen to that. And we need to, you know, respect that.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the funniest thing that I said to someone the other day is that I think I experienced God in the most horrible times in my life. And this is really what people, well, I wouldn't say people, what I personally went wrong is I thought that God was around all the time, and when I was styling, when everything was going, and that was really not the case. You know, I went through a lot of time in my lives where, you know, I dabbled in a little bit of drugs, I dabbled in a little bit of alcohol, you know, you sleep around when you're younger, and all of that. I tried all of that, let me be honest with you.
No, you're
and
young, you have to.
If I tell you it was then, when He was the most with me, than the times when I thought I was the most successful.
Exactly.
And only thinking back and looking back on my life now, I start seeing this. You know what I mean? And it kind of, it gives you that little bit of perspective on life.
Yeah. It does. And that's a perfect example, because with me as well, when I hit a ditch with the business and things were not going right, that was then He was with me one way. When I look back now, the decisions that I made and what I've did to protect the business, I mean, it was just Him. Yeah. And I would go through it again with Him like that, you know. Yeah. So it's a good thing.
It's a nice thing to have. I mean, it's a nice little bouncer, bodyguard, big boy to have on your side when shit really hits the fan. You're like, yo, I'm falling back on you.
Yeah.
You know, I know nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the guy in charge.
You're the man.
Yeah, you know? Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I think let's just finish off. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. And
thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us the time of day and speaking freely.
Yeah.
And just giving us a big sum up idea. We've spoken about a lot of topics. We've given a few ideas and a few opinions on a few things.
Yeah.
Where could the people find you as a business? What's your platforms?
Yeah. So we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we are on Twitter. I don't know the exact things, but on Twitter I think it's at Sebenza Engineering Projects.
I'll put everything at the bottom of the podcast.
At the bottom, yes. And then Facebook, Sebenza Engineering Projects, and then same as Instagram.
Lovely.
Yeah. So we're there. You'll find us, and we're hoping to, become one of the best companies to work for in South Africa.
I believe in you. I believe in the fact that in a few years' time, I'm gonna see you doing some amazing things for our country.
Yeah, please.
And this is what we need. We need people like you that's changing our country.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, man.
We live in this country, and you know what? You're cleaning it up one step at a time.
One step at a time.
And I appreciate your time. And I appreciate the effort that you're putting into this. It's a struggle that a lot of people wouldn't even dunk their finger in, let alone take it on as a project.
Yeah.
I mean, I take my hat off to you, man.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, man. And thank you for, a young guy like yourself, cool guy like yourself, recognizing me,
Man.
old guy, I don't even think,
Us young guys look up to people like you because you know what? It sounds weird, but we want to see people that, and a lot of people, like you said now, that have made it in life, they don't want to give us the time of day.
Okay, yeah, that's a problem.
You know what I mean? I mean, I would love to sit like this with my father, but unfortunately he's busy. I can maybe get him for an hour a day. I can maybe get him for 5 minutes a day if I'm lucky. I mean, and this is the problem, and this is why I've done so well in my life, is because I've been exposed to billionaires. I've sat around a table with big businessmen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And no one scares me.
Yeah.
I'm not intimidated by any person in this whole world. And this is the thing as well. Once you start talking to people and once you start sharing experiences and sharing knowledge with people that have actually done it in life, you start seeing your perspective changes. You know what I mean? And this is what a lot of people are too scared to do, is they're too scared to fail. I'm not afraid to come to you and you tune me, Dean. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And this is what we need as young people. We need people like you that are willing to say to us, look, X, Y, and Z. This is the procedure in which you have to take. I've been doing it with a lot of artists, and a lot of artists think, look, you sign a record deal and you've made it in life. No. You sell your soul.
Exactly.
You need to understand the business side of it. You need to understand the paperwork side of it. What are you signing away? How much of your time is theirs? How much of your money is theirs? And this is what I keep on saying to a lot of people, is that get knowledge from the people that are practically in the field.
Exactly.
If you want to learn how to be Casper Nyovest, go and fucking talk to Casper Nyovest.
Exactly.
There's no one else that can teach you how to be better than Casper Nyovest than Casper Nyovest
himself.
If I want to be a good businessman like you, there's no one that can teach me how to be a better businessman than you. Because you've walked the road. You've walked the walk, you've talked the talk.
Exactly.
And I'm just very grateful and privileged to be able to talk to people like you.
And you're free, my man. For me, you're my friend,
Thank you.
Anytime, anything, whatever I can.
I actually made my own beer.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, I should come around and we should break some beer.
Yeah,
we should crack a beer together.
Yeah, we should crack a beer. No,
after the interview, I'll show you how it looks. It looks real dope.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's like a small thing, or it's just a little side hustle, because obviously when lockdown came, we couldn't get any beer and any booze. I don't drink myself really. I'm a cheap date. I have like 2 glasses of wine and I'm slurring already.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought it would be a cool project, and we started making our own beer. So I'm going to invite you around. We have a braai and we break some beers together.
No problem. I'm there.
Thank you very much, THEMBA.
Okay, man.
Thanks for all the viewers out there that's checking us out. Young entrepreneurs, please have a look at the convo. There's a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of nips that you guys could learn from. And be original. Be yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.